Today's episode, I have with me a creative, a voiceover artist, a presenter, Okikiola Blessing.
I believe that my only limitation could be myself. I don't believe in external limitation, as someone can limit me or an external force. Failure is part of the process. It is better to fail by starting than to fail by not starting. The headlamp of a car, no matter how bright it is, doesn't have the ability or the capacity to see the end of the journey from beginning. The path keeps getting clearer as you move. So I don't know who that person is. This is just to tell you that take a step. As you take that step, the path becomes clearer and clearer. Relationships, it matters. Relationship matters when it comes to anything that you're doing, be it ministry, be it career, every aspect of your life, you need relationships.
So were there like times that you wanted to give up on it? How are you doing?
I'm very well. Good to be here.
Honestly, I'm so grateful that you're here with me.
I'm glad to. It's such a privilege to be here.
I'm grateful to you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, on Sunday, one Sunday like that, we were in church. I just want to give you guys like a back end of why this conversation is happening today. And so we're in church. That day it didn't really feel like it. Yeah, it didn't really feel like it until I met you. I met you in church and we started talking, and then you started speaking over me, advising me, So many times I feel so tired. This podcast, many times I feel so tired about the whole thing. But after Sunday, I have like a fresh perspective of everything. I mean, like a new perspective about the whole thing I'm doing. And so I'm grateful to you. And I feel like a lot of people are in my shoes right now that what they are doing at the moment, they are just tired of it. They are just tired, probably because they are not seeing results yet, all those stuff. So I just feel like, let me bring you in to share your own journey with us. Probably with that, to inspire so many people watching. And so I'm so glad that you are with me at this moment. All right.
Pleased to be here too.
Yes, so nice. So I feel like let's start with any project. What was that project, that long-term project that you've done? Probably you can just share with us.
My long-term project is nothing other than starting my own brand.
Yeah.
Starting a brand of my own. Getting to like push and ensure that the world gets to know what my abilities are, what I do. For the longest of time, I've just been, the type of person that just, loves to be in a corner, just being in the background, doing what I love doing. I have not had that mindset of, being intentional about push and letting the world know the abilities that you possess, all of the things that God has, placed within you. One of which is, starting my own, event hosting brand and, voice over artistry brand, and it has been a beautiful journey so far, which I'm really grateful to God for.
Yeah, honestly, because I think I told you on that same day about the fact that I was just scrolling through Instagram, and then I just saw you on the TV, like Camp, our CCG Camp is like one of the biggest stage in the world, and you had the opportunity to I guess anchor a section, and it was honestly for me it was nice seeing that my friends are all those stuff. But during this stage you had some obstacles. You had some should I say barriers? So what were they, and how were you able to really push through?
For me, there were no much external obstacles. The obstacles that I felt starting up was from within. One of which is self-doubt. Can I do this? Would it amount to anything? The results, would it be worth it? Would I be able to, push through? Would I be able to do these things? This assignment seems big. This project seems, too big for me. Looking at my capacity now, how do I think? The voice is just self.
Yeah.
The obstacles that I faced, they were obstacles from within. They were self. They were something that came from within. Many people would have, their obstacles would have been, people doubting what they carry and all of those things.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just so different. The obstacles that I faced was from within, and the most paramount is it paramount I should use now? The biggest obstacle, yeah, that's the word. The biggest obstacle that I ever faced was self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Wow, self-doubt. Even on my own, like myself too. Self-doubt is something that I feel like 99.9% of us will face. Because I remember when I started my own TV, my podcast, I was like, will people watch? Will people listen? All those stuff. And in fact, I think my own perspective after that Sunday that we spoke, and even before then, I kind of feel like, how will I put it now? It does not even, like, we don't need the thousands. Like, we don't need the thousands.
Yes.
We just need few people. I remember our first episode we dropped with Moyosori. It had less than 300, I think 300 views on YouTube. But people literally messaged me, they tell me so many times, like, wow. So let's assume that self-doubt, because I had it. Let's assume that self-doubt
restricted you.
Restricted me. Will I have people to say that? In fact, I'm getting to have more families online because of what I do. So, but at the same time, like he said, self-doubt is something that will creep in. But at the same time, don't let it just restrict you. There are basic setbacks, right? But how do you stay motivated and focused?
My motivation, because I believe that my only limitation could be myself. Could be self.
Self.
And then I don't believe in external limitation, that someone can limit me or an external force. I believe, as a person, I believe that my limitation can only be from self. So I can only be, the limitation. So if I'm to face any limitation, I believe that it has to be me. So with that perspective, I could now say that my motivation was from within. It's always from within. I don't always believe in, people coming to motivate me, or a circumstance or an occurrence, stirring me up, motivating me to do what I need to do. I motivate myself. My motivation comes from within. So that's it.
Okay, so a lot of people, they tend to, when they start something, let's assume that they start a business and they didn't see results in probably in 3 months, 4 months, probably a year, they tend to stop.
Yeah.
So what do you have for, or what advice do you have for people like that, like perseverance? What advice do you really have for people?
All right, the only advice I have for such people is that it is better to fail by starting than to fail by not starting. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah,
it might
I
not make
understand
sense.
that.
Now, it is better that you started something and you failed at it than your failure being as a result of you not, starting anything, you being idle. So I believe that if I'm to fail, I would fail at something. I would fail by starting up something, by doing something. I would fail at doing that thing rather than failing by not doing anything at all, by not starting at all. All right.
Yeah.
So that's my belief, and that's my advice for such person. It is better. It is normal. Failure is part of the process.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's part of the obstacles.
Yeah.
Because you cannot tell someone that you passed through this process and you have this result without a scar.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe that the failure and other obstacles that you face along the line, they are the scars that you will present to them, that, oh, these were the things that, I'm able to bring out. These were the things that made me who I am today.
Yeah, and I think one advice I would give to people who are starting like something, let's just say like a long time ago, is that you probably might not just see the results yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most times it takes long. If you check people who are making it, or let's just say people who have made it, let's talk about Meta, let's talk about Amazon.
Yes.
These guys they've done it for years.
They failed at it several times.
They failed at it several times. I remember the first time our first episode, and we were talking about the dude who made this electric bulb. Yeah, the guy failed, I guess, 99 times something. So, any random person, probably at the 5th time, I'm not interested
would have
again.
given up. Yes.
You understand? So, I just feel like just continue.
Yeah.
If you are not consistent, or let me just say, if you are consistent and you've not seen results, just be extra consistent.
Yes.
Yes. And I guess you want to say something.
So an analogy just came to my mind, and then I would love to share.
Yeah.
The headlamp of a car, no matter how bright it is, doesn't have the ability or the capacity to see the end of the journey from beginning. You see that? No matter how bright it is, it's the path keeps getting clearer as you move. So I don't know who that person is. This is just to tell you that take a step. As you take that step, the path becomes clearer and clearer. You can't see the end of a journey. No matter how bright the headlamp of a car is, no matter how bright it is, it cannot make you see the end of the journey from the beginning. You have to move. As you keep pushing, it just gets, brighter and clearer, and then you arrive at the destination, and it feels like it was never a big deal. Many of you, your fear is that how are you going to get to the destination? But what you should focus on is, let me just start. Start it first and see how it's going to end. Many people who made it big today, although they had a big picture, of where they were going to, but they never believed. If you see anyone who achieved anything great, they never believed in, just, looking for a force to propel them into it. They started, themselves, and along the line. And the funniest thing is that it's just the devil. It's just the strategies of the devil to make you feel like you are not going to amount to something. So it's going to restrict you from moving. And that's what he wants to achieve. So what you're going to do in that case is that you start, and then along the line, there are people that I call the gift of men. The Lord blesses you with them, but the Lord will not bless an idle man with the gift of men. Now, my question is, if the Lord wants to bless you with the gift of men, what are you doing? What do they want to be a blessing to? So there has to be something in your hand that you're doing that, the Lord will now, propel them to come be a part of. So along the line, you get to meet those people, and then the path keeps getting brighter and brighter. So that's just my advice.
And then I think before we move to the next, people will talk. People will definitely say something.
Sure.
People will talk. People will tell you why you're going into it. It's dumb. That idea is dumb. I remember telling one of my family members that I wanted to start something like that. The person was like, what the heck is that? That's rubbish. But at the same time, people will talk. In fact, it will be people that you are close to, not outsiders. But at the same time, you know what is driving you.
Can I add something to that?
Definitely.
It is called your dream. Dream is personal.
Yeah.
So when you share your dream with people, if they are not like-minded, they tend to downplay or belittle it. It is your dream. And then to achieve it, it has to be, if it is your dream, if it is your personal dream, then it has to be your personal effort to ensure that you achieve it.
Yeah.
Along the line, people will be a partaker of it. People who don't see it as something big and, something beautiful, something that, could bet forth something big. Along the line, when they see where it's headed, sometimes it's not their fault. It's just because they are short-sighted.
Wow.
And it is you that God has shown that dream. It is you that will ensure that what God has shown you or what you have seen, in that dream, what you have seen, you stay motivated and you push through to ensure that you are not trying to prove point to anybody.
Yeah.
What you're trying to do is that you are trying to ensure that that dream is established. And it's a beautiful thing, no matter how small, how little it seems. So it is your dream, and you have to be the one to push through it.
Yeah. So, and let's dive into relationships now. Some people, they don't know how to balance their work, business, relationship. Yeah, all of this. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So, what do you have to say to us?
When it comes to relationship, works, and other aspects of life, I feel wherever the treasure of a man is, his mind will be there. If you have a huge amount of money in the bank, you cannot ignore the fact that you have that money. You can't. It's not possible that you forget that you have millions or billions in your account.
Yeah.
So where your treasure is, your heart is. So whatsoever thing that you love, you make time for. So this is a call to intentionality. You really need to be intentional. Focus on that aspect. Do a priority check. Do they matter? Relationships, it matters. Relationship matters when it comes to anything that you're doing, be it ministry, be it career, every aspect of your life. You need relationship because they are the
driving force,
the wings upon which your progress lies.
Yeah.
Because you can't progress without people being a part of what you are doing. The move of God on earth is men.
Yeah.
So you are a man and you cannot do without. If you can survive, if you can do without men, then you probably would be the only one existing. You would not need anybody around you. But the move of God on earth is men, and then you really need men. So if you understand the fact that you need men in whatsoever thing that you're doing, then you will be intentional about your relationships with them. I think that should help.
Yeah, that should help. We need people. The podcast, I can say that the fact that a lot of people see me every week in, week out, I'm not like how will I put it now? I'm not like the main character. Yes. I feel like the main character
are those ones
behind the scenes. Yeah. This podcast will not happen without them. And so
relationships very important.
Relationships very. It does not even have to be girlfriend, boyfriend, sure. Your friends and all those stuff like that. So just nice. So were there like times that you wanted to give up on it?
Countless number of times. There's always this voice. See, I tell you, except if someone wants to be except if I want to be a liar.
Yeah.
If I don't want to be truthful with myself, I would say there were never times when, self-doubt crept in, when I felt like, giving up. Countless number of times. Number one, lack of resources sometimes. It makes you want to just give up or just want to look for other things that you can do with little or no much resources. I don't want to say no resources because you need resources for anything that you want to start. All right. So, there were times when, I lack of resources just wanted me to give up on my dreams. But I told myself, are there people there? When they started, was it the same way? Were they the same way, they were when they started? Were they the same way they are now? So I could see process. I could see growth. And then I thought to myself that it could be that same way with me too. It can happen with me too. So I gave into, process whatever thing I had. I just started see, let me tell you, you have no excuse.
Yeah.
You have no excuse at all. If you have dreams that, that you have been passionate about, you don't have any excuse. Whether the dream is going to survive or is going to die is dependent on you. All right. So it's dependent on you. Like I said earlier on, you are the only limitation to yourself. It is only you that can limit yourself. Don't believe in any external force to limit you. So there is no external force that will limit you much more than the way you would limit yourself. All right.
So what advice would you give to somebody that is starting a long term or just anything they are starting today?
It is better to fail because you started than to fail because you never started.
Yeah.
I said it earlier and I'm still saying it again. If you have this mindset, starting anything would not be an issue for you. And this is not just limited to, it's not just limited to career, it's not just limited to, profession. It boils down to even, ministry. Yeah, ministry. And then I just want to speak from the perspective of ministry.
Yeah.
So I don't know who that person is. It is better. And for the funniest thing is that you can't even fail. You can't fail. You can't fail in ministry if God has truly called you. You can start little. But I promise it's not going to, it's not going to end little. Ensure that it will not always be rosy.
Yeah.
Ensure that there are obstacles to face. Many people stopped because as at the time when they started, there were resources. As at the time when they started, there were people, there were support systems. And along the line, people started falling out, and it felt like you don't have people, you don't have hands, you don't have the gift of men, you don't even have resources. I just want you to, if you have the mindset of, I've got all it takes I've got all I need to start. If you have that mindset, when all you need, when they are no longer there, you tend to give up if that is your driving force or that is your motive. But let your driving force come from within. That as I'm doing this thing, people mess up. People can fall off along the way. A lot can happen along the line. I will stay consistent, focused, and ensure that I smash my goals. I reach that desired goals, and then I fulfill my dreams. So I just want to advise you that you should ensure that, your motivation comes from within.
Yeah.
And then you are, there's a level of assurance and confidence that comes when, you are just, when it is you. Don't let people assure you. It's fine when people assure you. It's fine when people, tell you, you are doing beautifully well. Okay, this. It's fine. It's okay. But much more than that, ensure that what is pushing you is from within.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I want to just say this, probably a minute or two, and then we wrap it up. So one thing is, I just want to advise that don't quit. Don't quit. I was watching a podcast by one of my mentors. He has been one of a driving force to what I also do. So his name is Omar Itakori. Yeah, that you know him. So I was listening to his podcast, and there was someone who was on this podcast, and so this person said that he gave his life to Christ because of that podcast. It was just a normal podcast. I guess it was related to business, but it was like a guest and he's a pastor. And so, some people might just have this relationship. It's not like a relationship with God. They might just be working in church, but they don't have that relationship with God. So his guest was now talking about how he got saved. How he got saved through that podcast. So, and now, yes, what is crazy about the whole thing. That podcast didn't have views. It was even less than 1,000. But it's so got saved.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that it does not necessarily mean that the stuff should be big. It should have views. It can just be 300, and that 300, probably one person will gain something from it. So don't quit. It will all make sense one day. So that's just the advice I can give to you. So thank you so much, Okiki Blessing. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you find value in this video,
make sure you click the subscribe button, like, share. Share it to your friends, share it to your family. And also, if you want to connect with me and my guest and even the TV show, go down in the description below or in this video and you see everything. Everything right there. And I can't wait to see you in the next video to connect with you. Let's go.